Hello everyone and welcome to In the Newsroom. I'm Yoo Ji-hye. You know, television news is all about pictures. Good pictures tell good stories. And even the most boring and dull piece of information can transform itself into an interesting piece of news if it's backed by great visuals. Like on my left, I'm joined by a great bunch of talented people. They're computer graphic designers and they work on our graphs, maps, texts, you name it, they all have it. And I see one of our reporters are making her request as we speak. Let's go and talk to her. Ji-sun, I know you're very busy, but what stories are you working on right now?
Hi, Ji-hye. I'm covering an in-depth report today for the real estate market in Seoul after the May 10th announcement. So I requested a lot of graphic to make my pitch more explained.
Can you tell us more about it?
Well, first, to start off, I included a map to give them a brief idea of where the three Gangnam districts are located in the capital, Seoul. And I also included a line graph, which is especially effective when we are explaining a trend in prices or inflation. And then we have the pie graph, which is also special and very effective when we explain politics or economics, as to explain the proportion of how much percentage of people are thinking either way, if it's going to increase or decrease, or if it's going to have no impact on the policies. And last but not least, I asked for a text graph to explain terms of which viewers are not really aware of. It's always better to give them like words in the graph so they can have a better understanding, and also an example with a formula so they can get a grip of numbers in terms of DTI.
Ji-sun, that sounds great. Looking forward to your report later. So before we go and talk to our reporters in the newsroom, let's go over to our Hwang Sung-hee standing by in Busan to give us a rundown of some of the headlines this week. Sung-hee.
Greetings from Busan, Ji-hye. The reason I'm bringing you this week's headlines from Busan is because I'm here to check out the 2012 Busan International Motor Show. This year's event is supposed to be the largest in the show's 11-year history, with around 22 automakers from home and abroad taking part in the event. And earlier in the day, I also got to sit down with Mr. Peter Schreier, the Chief Design Officer of Kia Motors, who is also known as the man behind Kia's recent success. And going back to this week's headlines, the EU summit in Brussels ends without much progress, as France and Germany fail to narrow their differences on resolving the Eurozone crisis. And mounting fears over Greece's possible exit from the troubled Eurozone rattle financial markets in and out of Korea. Korea, Japan, and the United States meet in Seoul to urge North Korea to stop any further provocations, including a third nuclear test. Despite Pyongyang's statement that it has no immediate plan for another nuclear test, the White House says Washington will not resume any food aid for now. South Korea is reportedly planning to inject some $2.1 billion over the next 5 years in its missile defense program, amid growing concerns over North Korea's military threats. It looks like Korea may halt oil imports from Iran, as Korean oil tankers carrying Iranian crude are blocked from insurance coverage from European insurers. The Korean government wants the nation to reduce its oil consumption to 1/3 of all energy usage by 2015 by rewarding drivers of hybrids and compact cars with extended tax breaks. In domestic politics, lawmaker-elect Kang Ki-jung claims victory in the third round of the main opposition Democratic United Party's leadership race primary in Gwangju, South Jeolla Province. Well, Ji-hye, it's been a very busy day for me here in Busan covering the motor show, but as we always say, the busier the better. Well, this is all from me for this week. I'll see you back in Seoul. Back to you, Ji-hye.
Right, so we saw quite a number of developments in North Korea. The satellite images show that North Korea could be ramping up another rocket launch, and this is despite the fact that it announced that it has no plans to go ahead with a nuclear test. So what is happening? Hanu, tell us.
Right, there's been some movements and activity detected in North Korea, especially in the Musudanli rocket launch site. So there's been speculations that North Korea may be preparing for another missile launch because there's been some satellite photos that show indication of soil and movement on these construction sites. So it's still up in the air whether North Korea will conduct another missile launch.
An analysis of recent satellite photos by a U.S.-based website devoted to North Korea, 38 North, indicated that new rocket launch facilities are under construction near the Musudanli launch site, hinting at the possibility that the North is preparing for additional launches. April's failed rocket launch of Gwangbyeong-3 took place in Dongchangli in the western part of the country, which is reportedly better equipped with the latest technology than Musudanli, which is on the east coast. These photos taken by a private satellite company in late April suggest a major upgrade is underway to the Musudanli launch pad. Meanwhile, a U.S. satellite expert, Curtis Melvin, who saw the pictures, told Radio Free Asia that it seems like North Korea is constructing two sites near Musudanli. The expert added that the easternmost construction project appears to be a new long-range launch facility, capable of handling larger projectiles than the old platform.
Right, Friday was a historic day here in South Korea. I mean, the 12 bodies of South Korean soldiers were killed during the Korean War returned home. Hanu, what can you tell us?
Right, yeah, this is a very special moment because this is the first time that the bodies which have been excavated in North Korea to be sent back to South Korea. So this is the first time that these troops who died during the Korean War in the North Korean territory to come back to South Korea for the first time. 12 bodies have been recovered by the U.S. military. Only 2 have been identified, but this is making big news because even the president is welcoming the war dead, the fallen troops back home. So this is going to be the first time these fallen soldiers will be returned to his motherland.
Thank you, Hanu, for that report.
From the yacht event.
I know, it was really sunny throughout the whole weekend.
Hey girls, how are you?
Hi.
Right, my favorite part of the day, coffee break. How's everyone holding up this afternoon?
Great.
Good, good. I think Jisung got a tan though from this past weekend.
Do I?
Yes, I can
Little
see
bit.
that. Sort of a glow.
Because you were standing outside, right, by the waters.
It was really sunny, like without like a cloud or anything. It was a perfect day for the sailors. But one thing was like there was not enough wind to start off the race, so like they had to actually wait until there was some wind to actually up the sail.
So this is a worldwide like yacht competition or just nationwide?
It's Korea Cup International Yacht Race, and there are like 26 yachts from like over 10 countries or 11, and there's like participants from Russia, the United States, and of course Korea. And like as the yacht industry is booming here in Korea, and this is one of the major competitions, so they're actually boosting the industry as well as the athletics aspect of it too.
It's such a placid day, without waves or wind, here by the shore of Hupo Port in Ulsan. But it's not the most ideal condition for the sailors, especially when they're harnessing themselves in for a long journey out into the East Sea.
And it's not an easy journey waiting ahead of them. It takes over 20 hours overnight just to reach Ulung Island, the first leg of the race.
Throughout the race, the crews work as a team on board, without sleep or rest. But once they anchor at Dokdo, the sailors will be greeted with cheers and welcoming ceremonies, cruising around the islets, commemorating Korea's sovereignty over Dokdo once again.
So Dokdo, that must have been special.
Exactly, and this is the 5th time they've been sailing around Dokdo. And this time, for the first time, the Japanese government actually protested against our race there. Like they're objecting, for the point of Korean government supporting and sponsoring this event. So Sankei Shinmun just reported this morning that they were not entirely happy about the sailors cruising around Dokdo.
But I can see the sailors were happy.
Exactly.
And a lot of the Koreans here are happy too.
Makes me want to go to the waters.
Exactly. Well, quite a number of people were looking up the sky this past week.
Oh yes, yeah. Right, on Monday, the big ring of fire eclipse took over the skies all over the world. And unfortunately in Korea, we could not see it, but in Tokyo, they were able to see it. And it was the first time in more than 170 years that the people in Tokyo were able to see this ring of fire eclipse.
It was a ring of fire eclipse in the skies. Millions of people across Asia watched this rare eclipse cross their skies early Monday, and others in the western United States saw the phenomenon late Sunday afternoon U.S. time. In Tokyo, millions of stargazers got a glimpse of the Ring of Fire eclipse for the first time in 173 years. The event, called an annual solar eclipse, happens when the moon covers the sun in a precise way so that only a golden ring is seen around the edges of the moon.
The Ring of Fire eclipse is a rare event because it's when the sun and moon are exactly in line, and the moon has to be far enough from the sun, so the apparent size of the moon is smaller than that of the sun.
In Korea, viewers, especially early morning commuters, were able to view it as a partial solar eclipse early Monday. The last time Seoul saw a partial eclipse was 2 years ago in 2010. So when can we expect to see the next solar eclipse in Korea? Astronomers say mark your calendars for March 9th, 2016. Here in Korea, viewers will once again see it as a partial solar eclipse. Connie Lee, Arirang News.
But what I was wondering about, but they're putting on this very special glasses, sunglasses of some sort to protect their eyes. So looking straight up at the sky, it's not good for your eyes?
Right, so doctors say don't look at it straight in the eye, like straight at the eclipse when it's happening. So a lot of these people were having the solar glasses on or lenses on to protect their eyes.
Yeah, I hear that more like 16 people in Japan, they...
So blinded?
Yeah, or something like that. They had to go to the eye doctor to get it checked out.
Yeah.
They weren't listening, were they?
But the government did pass out these lenses, so...
Great. And you also went to Cheonggyecheon Stream?
Yes, Cheonggyecheon. I also went there.
Was it your first time?
It was actually...
Being a Seoul light?
Right. It was actually my first time actually being by the stream, which was kind of cool, and it's really nice because I've always heard about it. It was when, then Seoul Mayor, which is the current president of Korea, he actually initiated this renewal project. Yeah. And so my story was on the wishing well, and people actually
throw coins
wishes, and throw coins.
I did once.
You did?
My dream hasn't come true yet, but if it does, I'll let you guys know what it was all about. But it's very interesting. So what are they going to use the money on?
So actually, all the money that they collect in the stream is for nonprofit organizations. And so they donate on a regular basis. And so on Tuesday, they actually donated to UNICEF and the Community Chest of Korea. And they had this big event where they collected a year's worth of coins. So the Korean coins will go to the Korean nonprofit organization, and then all the international coins went to UNICEF.
So how much are we talking about roughly?
Over the past 7 years, they estimate that about 100 million Korean won, which is about 86,000 US dollars. So you don't think that that's a lot, but then considering they're all coins, right, like from a cent to 10 cents.
Because we've got a lot of old coins that we don't use at home. Maybe just bring that out and throw it there and try to get into the well. I think that'd be a great approach to help out.
Right. So you're making a wish and you're also contributing to society. Yeah. So
the goodwill.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, good to hear that. And Jisun, so any stories are coming up probably next week? Thinking about?
Well, in June we have the World Cup preliminaries for Brazil that I covered earlier, and for more.
Yeah. And the Olympics are coming up.
Exactly, too.
Olympics,
so I'll also be preparing for that opening in London too.
Okay, fabulous. Okay, let's go up and get back
to work. Yeah, that's nice.
Today I'm pretty excited about the 50th anniversary performance of the dance company that presents very traditional Korean dance. last February, I covered the 50th anniversary of Korean ballet company, and people really liked it. So this time I really would like to have a similar result, and I would like to convey the beauty of Korean dance to our viewers worldwide.
스케치할 거거든요.
예, 지금 스케치만 하고 2시,
3시.
그때 본격적인 거죠. 예. I sent my stand-up sentence to our chief editor, Peggy, and she said, looks good, so I will go with this. Special 50th anniversary performance. The National Dance Company will present this special 50th anniversary. 박지원, Arirang News. We just finished shooting stand-up, which is a biggest burden for reporters, but during the meantime, when we don't interrupt their performance much, we need to find this short time, and we just did successfully. Reporting is mainly focused on the Korean beauty, Korean traditional culture. So that would be some different point of other Korean media, and we as a global TV, we'd like to convey some traditional Korean beauty to the global viewers. 그냥 예술 감독님이라고 표현을 하면
안 돼요. 그래서 제가 지금 대행 체제라서 제가 인터뷰하기가 조금 힘들어요. 안 하셔도 돼요.
이 입장이 곤란해지시면 안 되니까.
네, 내 입장이 그렇다니까.
The artistic director of the dance company will be replaced in about just a week. So he said it is a better idea not to have an interview. So instead of having his interview, I'd like to have some young dancers of the company to complement his place.
인턴으로 되게 배울 수 있는 계기가 된 것 같아서 너무 좋습니다.
네, 감사합니다. Well, now it's 4:55 p.m. and our news will be broadcast for 22 today. Back to the company, and in about 2 to 3 hours, we should finish dubbing and editing, which will be pretty hectic.
이 여자분이 앞으로 나오는 게 낫지 않나요?
네, 투샷 하나 넣어주고 싶어요.
I am very happy that I can cover this very special year for many dance companies here in Korea. So I hope that my efforts and his efforts together can pay off by resulting in a very interesting and informative packages for our viewers. The National Dance Company will present the special 50th anniversary performance this Friday and Saturday at the National Theatre of Korea.
So we come across steady streams of news every day. Let's share some stories that struck us the most this week.
Why don't you start?
Okay. Well, it was the Korean government actually first announced to carry out a chemical castration of sex offenders in the country who are likely to commit these heinous crimes over and over again. And I thought that it's about time that Korea step up and take these kind of actions, because I personally think we've been quite lenient when it comes to dealing with these criminals.
You know, I remember writing about it back in 2010 when the bill was passed in the National Assembly to chemically castrate those those repeat sex offenders, and it went into effect July last year. And this 45-year-old man, will be the first one to have
go through that procedure.
Right, sterilized.
Right. I mean, some people say it's very invasive, mutilating, and it's irreversible. So there are some voices of concern from the human rights activists or from Christian societies and so on. But I think it's a procedure that can really make sure to tame the sexual urges of these predators in the society who clearly has a sexual disorder. Yeah, definitely. Any news from your part of the...
Well, every Thursday on Korea Today, we have, towards the end of our program, we have a segment called Blogosphere. It's where foreign bloggers come to our studio and talk about some of the interesting points of Korea, aspects of Korea that they're interesting for them. And there was this one blogger named Michael Aronson. He's from New York. He made this music video.
I saw that.
It's a Seoul subway song. And you know that theme song that plays on the subway every time they announce the name of the station?
So near perfect, I can hardly complain. It's not in New York or London or Tokyo, hardly miss them. It's a Seoul metropolitan subway system. It's so simple for people who hop in from overseas with train announcements in English, Japanese.
And I think that was just so amazing.
Yeah,
and he also has music videos about Hangul, the Korean alphabet.
Interesting. Every Thursday, huh?
Yeah, every Thursday. Although we have a change in guests. He was one of the bloggers that were invited.
Very interesting. Great. So any stories that struck you?
Actually, I think I should make a note of our Hwang Ji-hye, who's in Central Asia. I actually caught a glimpse of her in one of her reports, and she's tanned, very tanned. And yeah, of course, she's traveling with a team of medical professionals from Korea. And they're going to, they're in Kazakhstan right now, and they will be in Uzbekistan as well. And the Korean medical team will be helping Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, I guess, develop their medical system and facilities and skills. And, it struck me as very interesting because, Korea was once a recipient of those kind of medical services.
Of course.
Yeah, during and after the Korean War, actually, the U.S. had a project to educate all these Koreans for, to become medical professionals and whatnot. And now, 60 years later, we're, going around giving back, educating these Central Asians. And I think it's just great deed. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Korea is the only country that's actually turned as a donor in medicine that from a recipient. So it struck me as very interesting.
In such a short period of time.
Right.
Right, Kanya, news time.
Okay. Oh, okay, I gotta go,
Let's
girls.
go.
All right.
See you
Great
next
talking
week.
to you.
It can transform itself into an interest if. 감사합니다. Sorry. Oh, 잠깐만요. Graphs, maps, titles.
예, 잘라주세요.
그래도 다시 할래요. 다시 할게요.
And put it into